Hi, this is Josh Olson. You're watching Trailers from Hell, and I want to tell you a little story about the premiere of my film, A History of Violence, a few years ago. We had the premiere in Hollywood. My father and stepmother flew out to join me for it. And after the film, there was a party, which they usually do, and we all went off to it and split up and were talking to various people as the night went on. And I reconnected at a certain point with my stepmother and said, "Hey, how you doing? You having a good time?" And she said, "Oh, God, yes, I'm having a wonderful time." Lizzie, my stepmother, is an English professor from Philadelphia, and she started telling me about this. She'd met this wonderful man, very cultured, very informed, and erudite, and he himself was, in fact, a college professor. And she says, "There's just I didn't expect to find somebody so literate in Hollywood. It's wonderful. We should, he comes through Philadelphia every now and then. We should have him over for dinner, your father and I." And I thought, "Oh, that's nice. I'm glad you're making friends." I go, who is he? What's his name?" She goes, "Wes Craven." I can't get that image out of my head of my dad and stepmother having dinner with Wes Craven, but who knows, maybe someday it'll happen. Anyway, this is Wes Craven's second film. It's a bit of a masterpiece. This is The Hills Have Eyes.
They wanted to see something different, but something different saw them first.
This is Wes Craven's second film, made a couple of years after Last House on the Left. It tells the story of the Carter family, who are driving across country on vacation and make the mistake of not heeding the words of the old gas station attendant who tells them, "Be sure to stay on the main road." Of course, the Carters do stray off the main road, and not surprisingly, carnage ensues. When their Winnebago breaks down, they're attacked by a family of terrifying hill-dwelling mutants who live in the hills, which, as you may have heard, seem to have eyes. The mutants are ruled by the homicidal lunatic Papa Jupiter, played by James Whitworth, but the most notable of them is Pluto, played by the wonderful Michael Berryman. Berryman is a distinct and unusual presence in all the movies he works in. He suffered from a condition called hypohidrotic ectodermal dysplasia, a rare genetic condition which prevented him from developing hair, sweat glands, or fingernails. He did a pretty good job of parlaying this into a film career, playing many odd and unusual characters. But anyone can be interesting looking, and what has kept Berryman working all these years is a demented intensity he brings to so many of his roles. He's really a solid actor because many years ago I actually met him, and he was just a sweet, very gentle, soft-spoken man. He's terrifying in some of these films, especially this one. The film also stars Dee Wallace, E.T.'s mother, and star of our fearless leader's werewolf masterpiece, The Howling. It's a very disturbing and convincing film. The Carters are traveling with an infant, and Craven does a great job of creating an intensity and an environment that genuinely makes you worry that the cannibals are going to get around to eating the baby. Not a lot of movies can pull that off. Probably the fact that they eat the Carters' pet bird out of the cage helps. I remember seeing the poster for this film when I was a kid at a local theater and just being mesmerized by it. It features Berryman wearing these kind of caveman outfits, looking at you very intensely. It's enough to give a kid nightmares, which it did for many years. Like Last House on the Left, this is a revenge story in which Craven explores the notion that in taking revenge, one can become as savage as those you take it out on. The ending is abrupt and chilling and really hits that point home. There was a slick remake a few years ago, and it was incredibly well done, incredibly well made. They obviously had a lot of money to spend on it. And as good as it was, I always find that when they do these expensive remakes of films that were done on the cheap, you lose something. There's an incredible intensity to movies like The Hills Have Eyes and Texas Chainsaw Massacre that you lose when you have state-of-the-art CG in them.
Murdered, raped, burned, but not beaten. The Hills Have Eyes. The story of one family's refusal to die.